My beloved child, listen closely because the atmosphere around you is shifting right now. You do not see it with your natural eyes yet, but heaven has already begun to move toward you. Animals aren't presents, they're promises. Okay, now take a deep breath. Before the next revelation, this is your chance to really connect with, support, and ground this message in your mind. If you like this video, send it to someone who needs to see it. You can make a comment with your confirmation and subscribe to make sure you don't miss the next divine release. This light goes farther than you think because of your engagement. Right now you are in a living word, a time when heaven spoke directly to your spirit. You are being given this message. Now let me say something with the same authority that led to this revelation. You become a tool in God's hands every time you help this mission reach more people. You are the one who plants the seed that heals someone else's awakening, or their big step forward. Because the light we carry can't stay in one place. It needs to pour out like oil into places where hearts are breaking and hope is fading. I feel compelled to say this now. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-fi community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you, is not just a verse for Jesus. It is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. Every major step forward is based on a secret truth. Every step up starts with a revelation you couldn't see before because you were too tired. Heaven says you have now reached the inner clarity needed to see what was hidden from you. Right now, Archangel Michael's sword is not raised for battle. Instead, the sword is giving off a soft, radiant light that shows you the way that was always meant to be there, but was hidden before. Those shadows weren't sent by darkness to hurt you. They were scarves that were meant to keep you safe until the right time. Now that time has come. Archangel Michael reveals a significant message. The biggest change in your life is not happening in other people or places. It's coming from inside you. Layer by layer, moment by moment, your spirit has been quietly getting better, and you have no idea how big it is. This is why your old habits started to make you feel bad. This is why some conversations made you tired. This is why places you used to be able to handle became too much for you. It wasn't being weak. It happened over time. Your soul grew, and now your life needs to grow too. In the picture that heaven shows me, your spirit is standing on the edge of two worlds. The world of who you were taught to be and the world of who you were made to be by God. One foot is firmly planted in the realm of survival, and the other is firmly stepping into the realm of purpose. However, breakthrough needs alignment. It means putting both feet on the ground in the way that heaven planned for you. And the message for today is the link that will pull you all the way forward. With a voice that is both fiery and calm, Archangel Michael speaks. Your breakthrough is ready for you to accept the change happening inside you. That's what this moment is all about. You're no longer interested in habits you didn't even know you were no longer interested in. You've healed wounds that you didn't even know were getting better. Your spiritual growth has reached a point where you can handle the big things that are about to happen. But you need to now accept that things have changed, to see it for what it is and say, I am not who I was. This statement is not haughty. It is in line. Heaven needs to be known before it can let people go. And your inner change has been waiting to be recognized so that your outer breakthrough can happen with full authority. Then Archangel Michael shows me a picture of a seed that is buried. It has been buried and forgotten for a long time. But the seed is splitting, stretching, and making roots deep inside. Before anything can be seen, something is happening. This is you. The inner shift began a long time before the outer shift. The moment you become aware of this is when the seed breaks through the surface. It's not the start of growth. It's the proof of growth that came about already. For years, you have been misjudging your own timeline. You were sure that things would change soon. You thought the doors were shut. You thought there was no sound in heaven. But you weren't being put off. You were being grown. Your inner world was getting stronger. Your ability to judge things was getting better. Your ability was getting stronger. Heaven says that the outside blessings can finally come without crushing you, now that the inside structure is ready. Archangel Michael continues with a message that is very important for the future. You have to let go of the last bits of who you used to be in order to step into what's next. It's not that the past was wrong. It's just that it can't handle the size of your next level. You can't bring your old way of thinking with you to a new place. You can't bring old fears into a supernatural task. You can't mix the energy of staying alive with the energy of breaking through. Now is the time to accept that your spirit has left this world. Now you have to make a choice. Heaven wants you to let go of a certain thing, something that might seem small but is actually very important. That voice inside your head might be an old idea, an unrealistic expectation, a pattern of self-doubt, or a fear that tells you that you are not ready. But Archangel Michael tells you that you are ready and have been for a longer time than you think. This message from heaven would not be coming to you at this time if the stars were not aligned. Allow the truth of this to sink into your heart. Feel the change as your mind rearranges itself. You're getting clearer than ever before, and authority comes with being clear. The power to take back what was always yours. The power to walk on paths that used to scare you. The power to wear the mantle of heaven that was made just for you. Now is a very important time when your spirit must speak its agreement. Write, "My season has shifted," in the comments below. Do not write, "I hope my season shifts," or "Maybe my season is shifting." Write, "My season has shifted," with authority. Be sure when you write it. It should be written as a statement that can be heard in the spiritual world. You're not just commenting when you type those words. You are making your voice match what heaven wants for your life. But there's more. The next surprise is even bigger. The last layer that was stopping your breakthrough at the threshold is being peeled back. Nothing will be able to stop what is coming at you once that layer is gone. Keep your spirit open, because what comes next will be the last piece in your transformation. Feel free to write, "I honor my transformation," in the comments if this truth hits home for you. The blessing code 5511 has now been sent to you on your journey. Step forward with a steady heart, my beloved soul in transition. What's happening now goes deep into the chambers of your destiny. Once more, the air around you is changing. It's becoming more dense with meaning, clearer, and full of divine intention. Archangel Michael moves with a calm authority. He doesn't rush your spirit, but instead guides it with the precision of someone who has been on your journey from the start. His presence is like both a shield and a spotlight. It keeps you safe, while shining a light on a truth that you need to see before you can move on to the next part of your life. You have come a long way, but you don't think you have. You've made it through times that were meant to break you. You've been through storms of emotions that should have made your spirit quiet. You went through fire and didn't turn to ash. Heaven saw every second of how hard you worked, even when you were almost out of energy. Archangel Michael is now speaking in a tone that is both reverent and pressing. You're not on the verge of making a breakthrough. You are right next to the doorway. But you need to know why everything that has been going against your life is happening before you can step through. To grow spiritually, there is a divine pattern. Breakthrough doesn't happen without trepidation. To grow, you have to be willing to stretch. You can't get to clarity without going through confusion first. And the interruptions you thought were random were actually interruptions from God. Heaven was moving things around in your life so that you could go to a place that your old environment couldn't support. You asked God for new doors, but you didn't know that some old doors needed to be sealed first. You prayed for new blessings, but you didn't know that some of your attachments would not be able to go with you. And this is where your act of recognizing someone is important. Archangel Michael tells us something that lots of people don't know. Accuracy is necessary for breakthrough, not perfection or performance, but seeing things clearly. The things that are ending and the things that are beginning must be clear to you. Heaven must let go of a chapter when you can feel it, even if your heart is still holding on to the last few pages. You need to know when something that used to feed you is now draining you. No, this is not a punishment. It is moving forward. Every level up needs an exchange, and the part of yourself that heaven wants you to let go of now is one that can't handle the weight of your future. This next truth might be hard to hear, but it has to be said. Something that heaven calls freedom is what you've been calling loss. What you've been calling rejection, heaven calls a change of direction. What you've been calling failure, heaven calls reformation. Heaven sees things from the point of view of destiny, while you have been interpreting events from the point of view of pain at the moment. Today, Archangel Michael wants you to see it too. I see a picture of a spiral staircase going up. Each step is a deeper understanding, a change in perspective, or a better understanding of who you are. It's not possible to jump from the ground to the ceiling all at once. You have to go up one step at a time, one layer at a time. This is the story of your trip. You have climbed without being aware of it, but sometimes you felt tired because you were spiritually rising, even though nothing seemed to be changing in the outside world. Now heaven wants you to figure out the one thing that has been stopping you from making progress. You think you're still living in an old season. You keep hoping for the same results. It hurts you to think about old pain. You keep getting ready to be let down. You keep asking yourself if you're good enough. Another strong voice, Archangel Michael's, cuts through the old sounds with a single sentence. You are not the person your past describes you as. That identity is no longer valid. It can no longer claim you. A new inner posture is needed for the breakthrough that's waiting for you. This is a sign of spiritual maturity, a posture that shows divine bravery, a clear stance that doesn't shrink when the future calls. Heaven wants you to fully step through the door you've been standing in the middle of. And to step through, you have to realize that what's ahead is bigger than what's behind you. It's important to understand that heaven has been training you, not punishing you, changing you, not making you suffer, positioning you, not pushing you away. Feel the presence of Archangel Michael right now. It is strong, stable, and unwavering. During battles you didn't even know were going on, he watched over your future. Spiritual attacks meant to stop you from following your purpose have been blocked by him. Even when you went off track, he kept your path clear. At this point, he puts his hand on your shoulder and tells you to get up right away. But hear this with all your heart before this moment ends. The next big idea is what will change everything. The one that changes everything. The one that shows you why heaven has been so careful with your timing. In the next message, I'll show you what's been going on in the background of your life. Stay close, because what's coming will make you feel even more fired up. Feel free to write, "I stepped through my doorway," in the comments if this speaks to your spirit directly. The blessing code 7744 has just been sent your way. As you enter this next realm of revelation, my rising one, take a slow breath, because what's happening now affects the very core of your journey. You're not just hearing words. You are standing under a clear spiritual canopy where truth, timing, and change are all coming together in one divine movement. It gets clearer that Archangel Michael is here. His wings are no longer far away or symbolic. They are now close enough that you can feel the change in the air when he talks. At this point, his message is not one of warning, but one of revealing. Your life has been going through a time when nothing made sense. Your feelings changed for no reason. Opportunities appeared and disappeared quickly. A lot of people left without giving a reason. The dreams you used to love felt too small. You changed even the prayers you said, not because you lost faith, but because something deeper inside you was taking shape. It became clear to you that the life you were living could not hold the whole person you were becoming. The stress you felt wasn't chaos. It was a spiritual check. Now Archangel Michael tells us something very important. The stress in your life has not meant that you have failed, but that you are getting ready. Heaven puts pressure on people to bring out their hidden strengths. Heaven uses chaos to show us the way. Heaven uses pain to show us our fate. And you, my dear soul, have been going through spiritual pressure that is meant to push you into the next level, not your next part, the next level of reality. There's a difference. A chapter changes your story, but a dimension changes who you are, where you're going, and even the atmosphere you walk in. This shift in dimensions is linked to the act of recognition that your breakthrough needs. You need to look past your anger and confusion to see what heaven has been doing inside you. A foundation that is oblivious to its own transformation cannot experience breakthrough. The truth is that you've changed more than you think. The old habits that used to control you are no longer on top of you. The old fears that kept you from moving are going away. One by one, the old patterns that kept happening in your life are breaking. You don't fully understand this yet, though, and heaven wants you to see it. A spiritual blueprint is revealed to me by Archangel Michael. This is your plan, Your purpose is shown by lines, marks, coordinates, and spiritual alignments. I can see that heaven has been changing your path to make it more like that plan. You were going down paths that did not lead to your destiny. You were carrying things that were not part of your calling. You tried to fit into places that weren't big enough for your anointing. Heaven had to step in. Some doors had to close. Some people had to fade away. There were times when chances had to fall through. It wasn't because you failed. It was because you were being led back to the path that fits your divine blueprint. This is why recognizing someone is so important. You need to understand that nothing that happened was random. Everything had a reason. Every shift was planned. Each moment of silence meant something. Every delay was planned. Now that heaven has put you in the right place, your breakthrough is just on the edge of becoming real. However, it needs your attention, your declaration, and your alignment. Archangel Michael now tells us something else, one very personal thing. It's been inside you, a doubt or question you never spoke out loud. When did you miss your chance? Did you make a mistake that took away your purpose? Did life take away too much from you for you to fully rise again? And heaven clearly has the right to speak. You haven't lost anything important for your future. Everything you thought was stolen is waiting for you in a higher dimension, untouched, safe, and ready to be given back to you in greater amounts. Feel that truth sinking into your heart. You're not behind. You're not behind schedule. You are not out of the running. You are exactly where God wants you to be, being awake, aware, aligned, and ready. Archangel Michael comes even closer and holds out a key as a sign. This is the spiritual key to a door, not a physical one. It stands for approval. You'll know that your old season is over when you accept this key. Your new dimension has already begun. You are recognizing that God has been watching over you the whole time. You're admitting that the change inside you is real and can't be undone. As soon as you realize it, your breakthrough is free to come true. You need to understand something. Breakthrough is not a thing that happens. A change in spiritual authority is a breakthrough. This is the moment when you realize that the person you were having trouble is not the person you are becoming now. When you realize that the fire you walked through made you better, not worse. That's when you realize that what seemed like loss was actually a divine exchange. And as you think about what this means, heaven gets you ready for what's next. The next release will show you the hidden purpose of your journey, why certain things had to happen the way they did, and how they set you up for a breakthrough that was much bigger than you thought possible. Stay close to this voice. Don't get off track. The next realization will be the one that ties your whole journey together. If this feels right to you, type "I receive my key" in the comments. The blessing code 8812 has now been sent to you. Keep your spirit steady. What happens next will make everything you just became aware of stronger. Take a deep breath and move into the next revelation, my chosen soul. This isn't just advice, it's divine decoding going on here. Now the air around you has a different weight. It feels planned, purposeful, and almost electrically still. Archangel Michael stands with a quiet intensity, as if he were about to reveal a part of the truth that had been too delicate, too powerful, or too life-changing to be revealed before now. This is something you were ready for. Heaven has been waiting for your spirit to be ready to hear what is about to be said. You've been through seasons that put every part of your being to the test. There were times when you couldn't see more than one step ahead because you felt like you were walking through spiritual fog. There were times when your feelings, energy, and clarity were hard to predict. You also thought about why heaven was quiet at that time. There didn't seem to be much help or direction, and you were wondering why you had to deal with things that were too heavy for you to handle. But now, Archangel Michael tells us why there was silence. Heaven didn't forget about you. Heaven was setting you back in balance. During certain times in life, you need to get rid of noise, distractions, and reliance on other people. When heaven gets you ready for elevation, it gets rid of the voices that used to affect you, leaving only your inner knowing. It turns out that the silence you were afraid of was actually making you smarter. Heaven wasn't going to leave you alone. Heaven was making you stronger in ways you couldn't see. Your intuition was getting better. The spiritual parts of you were being tuned in. Your spirit was being pushed to see things that your physical eyes couldn't. Archangel Michael shows me a picture of you on a narrow bridge. That person behind you is the one who has been shaped by survival. The version that fate has shaped lies ahead of you. The bridge stands for change. It's unstable, uncomfortable, and foreign. But the bridge is also important because it makes you move on purpose. You can't run backwards because of it. It forces you to take one conscious step at a time. This is where you've been, stuck in the change. Now this deep truth comes from heaven. This bridge season was needed for your breakthrough. You would have brought old beliefs, fears, emotional wounds, and ideas about yourself into a new area without it. That would have stopped what heaven wants for you to become. The bridge season wasn't heaven's delay. It was heaven's kindness. It was actually preparation that looked like pressure. But there's something more important you need to know. Something that Archangel Michael wants you to see now. There has been divine alignment going on in the background of your life, putting people, chances, revelations, and even problems in a way that may have seemed random to you but was perfect in God's eyes. There has been no luck in your life. There was a plan for even the disappointments. Even the endings were timed. Even the sudden changes were meant to happen. Archangel Michael leans forward on purpose as he tells her this. For some reason, your spirit has been ahead of your life. This is why you often felt like no one understood you. That's why you could feel changes coming before they happened. That's why you felt weird in situations that other people thought were normal. You were getting out of sync with places that could no longer support your soul's growth. Your spirit was already in a future that your body hadn't caught up to yet. This is the act of acknowledgement that your big break has been waiting for, being aware that you're not behind. You were ahead. And what made you feel bad wasn't failure. It was spiritual speeding up. Archangel Michael keeps talking and shows me another picture. A door that used to be closed, but is now sort of open. You can see light coming out from the other side, but not quite enough to walk through yet. Heaven wants you to know that today the door did not open. It opened the moment you became aware of who you are. Your mind wasn't ready to accept what your spirit already knew, so you didn't notice the change. But the door is getting bigger now that you're more aware. There's something else that needs to be dealt with. A truth that has been following you around. You've been carrying a contradiction inside you. You believe in your calling, but you're not sure if you're ready. You know what you need to do, but you're not sure how to do it. You feel like you were chosen, but you're afraid of making mistakes. And that contradiction has been making it take longer for your breakthrough to happen. Archangel Michael talks with authority, which cuts through the middle of that argument. Heaven does not pick the ready. Heaven gets the chosen ready. You are not here because you understand everything. You are here because something from heaven came into you and can't be taken away. You were picked out before you even knew it. Also, being recognized does not mean you are perfect. It means that you agree. You have to agree with what heaven has already said about you. In the power of the truth that heaven gets ready for the chosen, I urge you to spread this message. Click share and send this to someone who needs to hear these words in order to make a big change. This prophetic word is more than just a video when you share it. You are making the anointing work in your life. A spiritual law says that what you let go of for other people will come back to you in a big way. The breakthrough you need will move faster toward you as this message reaches someone else's spirit. Share it right now and see how heaven rewards you for being good. This alignment is important for the next part of your breakthrough. You need to understand that everything that has happened to you has been leading you, pushing you and shaping you toward one divine end. You are ready for what your spirit has been building up to. Let's seal your deal with heaven right now, when everything is perfectly in place. In the comments type Amen one more time. This Amen should be different from the last one. Allow it to be deeper and more stable, carrying the weight of all that you have learned so far. I agree with what heaven is doing in me should be the sound of your spirit. I give my permission for the change. That's right. Your Amen is more than just a word. It's a spiritual seal on the deal that heaven is making with you right now. Now that you understand this truth, heaven gets you ready for the next reveal, one that will show you the exact spiritual reason why your breakthrough is now and not earlier. Keep your spirit steady. Do not drift. What's going to happen next will show when heaven will actually open. Type 1. Align with God's timing in the comments if this really hits home for you. The blessing code 99001 has now been sent to you on your journey. Get ready, because the next event will bring the most profound revelation yet. As you move into the next stage of your life, my radiant soul, feel the air thicken with purpose. This part of your journey is like nothing else that has happened before. A change in the way you breathe, and a sense of stillness in the room may even happen to you, because heaven is about to explain the mystery of when you were born, why things didn't happen sooner, why some doors had to wait, why some blessings were kept secret, and why Archangel Michael brought you here at this exact moment. This timing is not a mistake in any way. There is nothing random about how things are going. Everything that is now in place was planned by a wisdom that goes beyond what you could understand on earth until today. Archangel Michael is now in front of you, not as a distant guardian, but as someone who is actively seeing how you are changing. Because what comes next needs spiritual maturity. His presence feels stronger and more authoritative. He talks in a way that is based on truth. The moment of your breakthrough is when the version of you that was meant to carry it finally shows up. That, my dear, is the secret that heaven has been waiting for you to figure out. You have access to breakthrough. It works in sync with you. It waits for things to line up. It waits for your spirit to be ready, for you to know who you are, and for you to let go of old beliefs that can't live with your next dimension. This is the reason why your breakthrough couldn't happen in earlier seasons. It would have come to you while you were still thinking like the person you used to be. You would have held it with hands that were still shaking from cuts and scrapes. Because of old fears, you would have gone wrong with blessings, and heaven, being kind, wouldn't let that happen. Now Archangel Michael tells you something that will hit you right in the heart. Your delays were not turns downs. They were God's protection. Heaven wasn't making you move more slowly. You were saved by heaven for the right time. If some good things had come earlier, they would have felt like burdens. Some relationships would have changed your path if they had come into your life sooner. If certain chances came up before your inner strength got stronger, you would have doubted your ability to take them. Heaven wanted you to understand how strong you are before giving you more responsibility. You can now see it. No, not all at once. Instead, do it slowly, layer by layer. You've been becoming more aware. When you see the old patterns, they lose their power over you. You can remember the patterns you broke without even realizing it. You are aware of how much smarter, calmer, stronger, and more spiritual you are now. Your spirit is now in sync with your fate. Your fate can now catch up with your present. But Archangel Michael wants you to know something even more important. When you have your breakthrough, isn't just about how you're growing as a person. It's about making sure that everything that has to do with your purpose fits together. Some people had to move. Some of the moods had to change. The enemies that were hiding had to come out. Supporters who were going to hold you back had to leave. It was necessary to change your environment so that nothing can stop your breakthrough when it comes. Heaven has been getting ready not only for you, but for the whole area where your breakthrough will happen. I see a picture of a field that has been plowed, watered, weeded, and cleared by Archangel Michael. Heaven sees it as ready for harvest, even though it looks empty to us. That's where you are now. You used to be afraid of emptiness, but it's actually the space that heaven made for plenty. When you used to think of stillness as stagnation, it was actually the ground getting ready for an overflow. You are in a field that has been set up for harvest by heaven, but harvesting needs to stay in tune with the source. Now is the time to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Make sure the notification bell is on before clicking the subscribe button. When you subscribe, you do more than just watch what a channel posts. You are making God's prophetic alignment happen in your life. You are setting yourself up to receive every divine release, prophetic timing, and heavenly download that this ministry sends your way. Sign up now to make sure you're in line with what heaven is letting go of. But this is where this revelation takes a turn for the better. Your breakthrough is just waiting for one last thing to be noticed. The realization that you are not entering a new blessing, but a new self. What is coming is not just something you will get, it is something that you will be. There is no way for you to go back to old cycles, because your spirit is no longer vibrating at that frequency. You will not go through the same things again because you are not the same person you were before. Because heaven has made your spirit bigger than those walls, you won't have to shrink to fit into places that used to hold you. This is why Archangel Michael's presence right now is so strong. His job is not to send a message, but to testify. You are moving from changing on the inside to showing up in the outside world. The next steps you take will not be based on confusion, but on what you know. When doors open, they won't feel late, but perfectly timed. And the way ahead will no longer be cloudy, but clear and lit with purpose. But really understand this. What is being released into your life will be made clear to you in the next revelation. Not a figure of speech or a vague idea of what your breakthrough is, but the real thing itself. You are almost done figuring out why Archangel Michael has been stressing recognition so much. Stay strong in your spirit, because the next thing that happens will reveal your breakthrough. If this message stirs up something deep inside you, type, "I welcome my divine timing" in the comments. The blessing code 448 is now being used on your life. Connect with this space before we move on to make this message more solid. If you like this video, please share it with others to make them feel better. Comment your confirmation and subscribe so you don't miss the divine messages that are being sent to you. Please allow this revelation to sink in. Now let me say the next part with the same weight that heaven has given it. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. My rising light, take your time as you enter this moment, because what happens now will shape, define, and breathe your breakthrough. Up until now, the messages from heaven sent through Archangel Michael have been softening the ground of your spirit, raising your awareness, and lining you up with a destiny you felt but couldn't fully explain. Things get clearer in this part, though. The fog starts to clear. The pieces of your journey that were spread out start to fit together. What was hidden behind the fog of confusion is starting to show itself. Archangel Michael is now in front of you, not just as a guide, but also as a messenger. The air around him shakes with certainty when he talks. He is carrying a spiritual scroll that holds the main ideas of what heaven has been planning for you. His words are like a whisper. Your breakthrough is not something coming toward you, it is something awakening within you. As he says this, a light starts to grow around you. It's not blinding, but showing. It's been trying to come out of you from the inside for a long time, even before you prayed for an outside sign. This is why you felt your insides getting stretched. This is why you felt restless in places that used to make you feel good. Because of this, your spirit started to push you away from places that were too small for the calling that was growing inside you. What you called confusion was actually growth on a spiritual level. You were spiritually dethroning everything that wasn't in line with who you were becoming, which is what you called instability. Now Archangel Michael tells us something very important. The breakthrough you are about to make is the point at which your inner change finally shows up in the outside world. When your inner world gets too strong, clear, and in sync for the outside world to stay the same, you have reached a breakthrough. This is the reason why your breakthrough couldn't happen sooner. You still had identities inside of you that didn't match the size of what heaven was about to let go of. But pay close attention to what comes next. You have been waiting for permission, signs, and approval from other people. Archangel Michael tells you, the breakthrough you seek is recognition of the authority heaven has already placed within you. But heaven is telling you that your breakthrough starts when you understand that you are spiritually in charge. The power to change your environment, to command alignment, to bring what is right into your life, and let go of what doesn't fit your spirit. You didn't waste any time. You grew too big for the timeline that was made for you. Heaven wants you to really understand something. Breakthroughs aren't outside miracles that just appear out of nowhere. They are awakenings inside that are impossible to hold back. When the awakening gets too big, The world has to change to make room for it. That change could come as a chance, a revelation, a divine connection, more clarity, or the sudden fall of things that were holding you back. A seed breaking through soil is depicted to me by Archangel Michael. It didn't start to grow when it broke through the surface. It started to grow a long time ago, not seen, hidden, or obscured. The breakthrough was just the moment when the growth could no longer stay hidden. This is you. Your personal growth has reached a point where it can't be hidden any longer. Your gifting, your purpose, your clarity, your spiritual authority, and your strength, all of them have reached a point where manifestation is a given. This is what heaven wants you to understand. Your breakthrough is not something you have to chase. You must take this into account. You are becoming a person who will bring opportunities to you instead of you having to go after them. You are moving into a frequency where alignment doesn't have to be forced. As you step into this reality, heaven will flow through your choices, words, energy, and person. However, this revelation comes with a holy duty. If you start to doubt again, don't give up. You shouldn't hide what you know inside to make other people feel better. It is not okay to lower your frequency to fit in places that are no longer good for your evolution. There is no pride in what Archangel Michael says. Stand in the recognition of who you have become, and the world will adjust. This is the truth of spirit. Heaven grows those who recognize their divine nature. Right now, something else is rising. There's something strong but quiet. Archangel Michael tells you that you won't get your breakthrough by working hard. You won't have to be tired, desperate, or work very hard to do it. It will happen when things are aligned. And alignment is just the soul figuring out where it belongs. Now is the time when your spirit will say, "This is mine. This is who I am. This is what heaven wrote for me." Your breakthrough will come through clarity, not chaos, inner knowing, not outside pressure, spiritual growth, not emotional upheaval. Before this part ends, though, hear this with all of your being. You will not only know what your breakthrough is, but also understand why heaven waited until now to give it to you. Now is the time when your past, present, and future all come together. You must stay here wide awake because the next thing that happens is the pulse of fate itself. If this message stirs up something deep inside you, type, "I recognize my breakthrough" in the comments. The blessing code 6671 has now been sent into the air. Come into this next moment with an open mind and a calm heart, my beloved. What is about to happen will link every question you have had, every season you don't understand, every emotional change, and every spiritual nudge you have felt for years. Now is the time when the threads of your journey start to come together in a way that only heaven could have planned. Archangel Michael stands close to you with a level of intensity that is different from what you felt before. His presence is strong, steady, and unwavering, as if he is about to reveal something that will change not only how you see the past, but also how you plan to move forward. You've been through a lot of things that didn't make sense at the time. There were times when you felt like you were buried, forgotten, or lost. You wondered why your efforts didn't seem to be paying off, why chances seemed to come up and then disappear, why some relationships ended quickly, and why your inner world changed even though your outer life seemed to stay the same. Now, though, Archangel Michael speaks better. Your trip did not waste any time. There was no accident. Every moment set the stage for who you would become. The way fate works is designed by God. Heaven doesn't set the plans for your life from above. It makes it stronger from the inside out. And while you prayed for change to show up, heaven was building things inside you. Before your breakthrough could happen on the outside, your internal change had to reach a certain level of strength. That's what finally makes sense now. Your delay was building something that couldn't be seen. Archangel Michael shows me a picture of a tree growing underground before it comes up. Before anyone sees the sprout, the roots grow longer, stronger, and more stable. The growth above ground would fall over if the roots were weak. Heaven planned your journey just as carefully. The bad things in your life had to get worse before the good things could rise to the top without falling apart. But now comes the more important revelation. As soon as you understand why you were waiting, heaven gives you what you were waiting for. Archangel Michael says that your breakthrough wasn't about timing, but about who you were. A lot of people wait for the right time, but heaven is waiting for the right you. You had to change into someone who could handle the weight of your calling, not because heaven didn't believe in you, but because heaven looked out for you. If your blessings came too soon, they would have been too much for you to handle. If you woke up to your purpose too soon, the world around you would not have been ready for it. If your power grew before your character did, the pressure would have broken you. But now your identity and your fate have finally come together. You have been led by heaven to do this act of recognition. The realization that you're not the same person you were at the start of the journey. Your spirit has grown. Your knowledge has grown. Your toughness has grown. Your ability to judge has grown. And heaven has been waiting for you to notice how things have changed. Because that's the only way the next level can come out. Archangel Michael now tells you why things got worse in your life right before this moment. As you get closer to breakthrough, things that don't fit with your new identity start to fall away. We all have old habits, old relationships, old cycles, and old ways of feeling. They start to fall apart because they can't exist in the same space as your breakthrough. You didn't become less stable. You were too big for the old container. People did not leave you. Heaven got rid of those who couldn't move on to the next chapter. You didn't lose your way. Your spirit just wanted a higher truth. That's why the pressure went up. This is why the changes happened so quickly. This is why your feelings seem to change all the time. Heaven was no longer recognizing the version of you that you were letting go of. Now that there is no one else around, you are in a new vibrational space that is in line with your destiny. Another word from Archangel Michael. This time his voice is firm but comforting. Your big break is not going to happen. It has already started. At first the signs were not very clear. There were random times of peace, sudden clarity, intuitive knowing, chances you didn't expect, and inner whispers that felt like heaven pulling at your awareness. These did not happen by chance. They proved what they said. As soon as you let go of your old self, your breakthrough came into your life. Allow that truth to sink in deeply. Heaven isn't getting ready to bless you. Heaven is showing you the blessing that had been planned just for you. There's more, though. A gate made of bright light is what Archangel Michael shows me. It's not locked. It's not being watched. It's just waiting to be noticed. You are now in front of it. If you try to force, beg, or work hard, the gate will not open. It will only open when you identify yourself. The gate opens when you accept who you are in this season, when you claim your spiritual authority, when you let go of your fear, and when you recognize your change. Now this truth comes straight from heaven to your spirit. Everything you need for the next season is already set up on the other side of this recognition. breakthrough isn't just one thing that happens. It's a change in identity that sets off a chain of supernatural events. Now is the time when heaven says yes, because your spirit finally says, I'm ready. But before this part ends, there is one more thing you need to know. Not only will the next revelation show you what's coming, it will also make it clear for you how to begin. You've made it to the edge. Going forward, you will find out how heaven wants you to go through the gate. Type, I'm ready to step through in the comments if this truth makes you feel something deep inside. The blessing code 3214 has now been sent out into the universe. Step with purpose into the next moment, my chosen soul, because everything you've learned up to this point has been getting you ready for the clarity that's about to come. Things are changing again in the air around you, not with heaviness, but with a deep stillness, as if the whole of heaven is holding its breath, ready for what's next. Archangel Michael stands in front of you and feels both protective and authoritative. The wings on his back are no longer signs. They make you feel like walls are blocking out everything that tried to stop your progress. This moment is holy, and it holds the instructions your spirit has been waiting for. You've been on the edge of a breakthrough, feeling like it was just around the corner, and seeing signs of it show up in small ways in your life. Now though, heaven wants you to know something more. Breakthrough is not something that just happens. It is something you choose to walk into. You need to work with it. You need to get on board with it. You need to be able to feel its beat and move in sync with what heaven is doing. When Archangel Michael speaks, his voice sounds like a warm current flowing through the air. He says, you have reached the place where the next step is no longer about endurance, but about direction. For so long you were surviving, holding steady, maintaining faith through storms that drained your strength. But now the season has shifted. You are no longer walking through fire. You are walking through formation. Heaven is not testing you. Right now, as heaven shifts you from endurance to direction, I want you to do something simple that carries spiritual weight. Click the like button on this video. That simple act is more than a gesture. It is a spiritual signal. When you press that like button, you are activating the flow of God's favor over your life. You are saying, I align with what heaven is releasing here. I get the direction. That like turns into a digital altar where you agree with the direction heaven is speaking over you. So go ahead and click like and feel God's favor start to flow in a new way. Heaven is showing you the way. This is the first instruction Archangel Michael gives. Don't go back to things that your spirit has grown out of. This may seem easy, but it has a huge spiritual meaning. A lot of people mess up their breakthrough by going back to the old habits that kept them spiritually small. They think that being familiar means being safe. They get comfort and alignment mixed up, but you can't get smaller after heaven has made you bigger. The clarity you feel now won't go away. This is the new beat of your life. You need to keep it safe. That's why some things feel different now. Conversations that used to make you laugh now make you feel tired. When places used to feel comfortable, they now feel stifling. Connections that were important before don't feel right now. Don't be upset about this. It's called discernment. Heaven is cleaning your spiritual palate so you don't eat things that don't nourish you anymore. For your next season, you need to be a person who doesn't give in to old cycles. The second instruction is now being given by Archangel Michael. Honor the changes inside. There have been small changes happening to you, changes in what you want, what you value, and how you see yourself in the world. These shifts don't happen by chance. They mean something. They are your spirit's language, and they will lead you to the next world. If your wants change, it means that your destiny is calling you. If your tolerance changes, it means that your spirit is rising. If your intuition gets stronger, it means that heaven is getting you ready to hear instructions more clearly. Breakthrough is not a fluke. At that point, you can't ignore how your inner alignment changes. Your spirit speaks clearly, and you start to move in new ways, with more purpose, confidence, and clarity. One part of you that used to move through the world with doubt is giving way to a version of you that moves with divine authority. The third instruction is now being given by Archangel Michael. Quickly act on divine prompts. Your intuition is more than just a feeling. It's the exchange of spiritual messages. When heaven pushes you, it's because the stars are aligned. Sadly, a lot of people put off their breakthrough because they wait too long to respond. You are not in that group, though. You are now awake. You can make better decisions now. You know when something is good for you. You can tell when something is wrong. You will know when heaven is pulling you forward. Your breakthrough works when you move. Movement that isn't random, but moves in a straight line. You can get through the gate faster when you start to follow what heaven is showing you. The chances change. Atmospheres change. Miracles take place. Doors answer. You start to see the supernatural flow that can only happen when you listen to your inner guidance. The fourth instruction is now being given by Archangel Michael. Let go of fear that looks like caution. Most of the time, fear doesn't say what it is. It often comes in the form of reason, doubt, or care. It says, wait a minute or two longer. You're not ready yet. This might not work, but you need to know that your spirit is now ready. Heaven has already told you that you are ready. Your fear is out of date. It comes from past events that don't define you anymore. Now that you know this, fear no longer has power over you. It breaks down. It lifts from your spirit like a veil that made it hard to see before. Now that the season has changed, you have to be brave. It has to be done. The confidence to trust yourself, the faith to trust that God knows best, the strength to let go of old ties, the guts to go through doors even when you can't see what's on the other side. When Archangel Michael looks at you with a steady gaze, the last hint comes from him like a sealed decree. Get used to the name that God has given you. It's been years since you thought less of yourself. You got a sense of what you could be, but it was hard for you to see who you really are. Heaven is not telling you that you have to earn this identity. Heaven wants you to accept it, understand it, and become it. Your breakthrough comes from the part of you that knows you are picked, led, safe, and supported. The moment you accept who you are, you enter the realm where your destiny flows naturally. Listen to this now, before this part ends. The final activation will be shown in the next unfolding, the last change that will seal everything that God has planned. You can't miss what comes next. Type, I receive the instruction in the comments, if this helps you see things more clearly. The blessing code 2319 has now been sent to you, my chosen one. Let your spirit be fully open as you enter this final revelation, because this is the activation that your whole journey has been leading up to. You have arrived at this sacred moment after going through a lot, letting go of a lot and realizing a lot. There's a quiet electricity in the air around you that makes you feel charged. This is because heaven has reached the point where your preparation and your destiny are finally touching. Archangel Michael stands in front of you now, but he doesn't have the gentle guidance of earlier parts. Instead, he has a royal authority. Being with him feels like the end of all the spiritual changes you've been through. This isn't another message. This is how you seal your breakthrough. Archangel Michael talks, and his voice has a resonance that sends waves through your whole being. The big step forward is not yet ahead of you. It's coming up inside you now. And as you think about those words, something inside you starts to calm down. The doubt that was holding you back before goes away. The doubt that was hiding in the back of your mind is gone, like fog in the morning. Still, you have the quiet confidence of someone who finally knows why the journey was set up the way it was. Heaven wants you to first understand this. The divine realm never left you, forgot about you, or thought you weren't getting it. Each step of your path was carefully planned, tracked, and measured. You were not getting lost. You were being shaped. You didn't arrive late. You were getting better. And every spiritual change you've gone through has set you up for this last activation, the point where you no longer think of breakthrough as an event, but as who you are. Archangel Michael tells you that the real reason you had to be recognized for your breakthrough is that being recognized changes your spiritual position. It changes the story you tell yourself. It changes how you see yourself, how you deal with fate, and how you move through the world. Blessings become burdens when they are not acknowledged. Chances are missed when they are not noticed. If you don't recognize it, divine timing gets confusing instead of clear. From waiting to walking, from hoping to becoming, and from surviving to commanding, recognition transforms you. Archangel Michael now tells you a truth that rings through your whole being like a clarion call. What's coming at you isn't small. It's not a joke. It won't be short-term. It's the realization of everything that heaven has planned for you throughout your life. This is why your fights were so tough. So this is why you had a lot of training. This is why it took you so long to get ready. Heaven is not giving you something that is easily broken. Heaven is giving you something strong, something that will last for generations, something that changes the atmosphere and impacts other people's lives. Here is the last revelation, though, the clear one your spirit has been waiting to hear. Your breakthrough comes when your identity, your purpose, and God's perfect timing all come together. When these three come together, heaven makes it easy to get there. Stop pushing back on doors. Chances start to come up. It becomes natural to be clear. Resources line up. There are connections, and your spirit, which was once heavy with doubt, starts to move precisely. Archangel Michael shows me a picture of you walking down a hallway that is lit up with golden light. You can see the next step better with each one. You aren't coming off track. You are not asking a question. You are not thinking about it. It looks like you finally know who you are and who you are becoming as you walk. This is how your new season feels. But heaven wants you to know something very important. Awareness alone cannot lead to breakthrough. It's finished by embodiment. You need to know more than just the truth. You need to live it. You need to change the way you talk. Pick something else. Change how you move. Do not expect the same. You can't bring the old version of yourself into a new season. That person is not the one who will carry the next part of the journey. Archangel Michael tells you that you have changed into the person that heaven has been waiting for. The activation is now time. This decree comes down from heaven and covers your life. All the doors that lead to your divine identity will open. You will find every blessing that fits your destiny. Every chance that was meant for your anointing will come your way. Because you are now more spiritually aware, nothing that was meant for you will pass you by. You're not calling from a place of not having enough anymore. You're drawing from a place where things are straight. Allow this truth to sink in. You are entering a time when you don't need to be looking for breakthroughs. It's something you draw to you. When you enter this season, peace, clarity, and progress are all normal things that happen all the time. You are entering a time when heaven walks with you, supports your rise, amplifies your ideas, and makes your voice stronger. As you move into this season where heaven is with you, make sure you stay connected to the source. Click the button below to subscribe if you haven't already. Say with that click that you won't miss what heaven is getting ready to give us. When you subscribe, you make God's prophecy about your future come true. You are saying, I am set up, I'm ready. I will take in every word, revelation, and act that heaven sends my way. Make sure you don't miss this chance to seal your subscription. To see how heaven rewards you for being ready, click it now. This is the last moment of activation. Before Archangel Michael seals this big change in your life, you need to say that you're ready. Write these words in the comments. I receive my full breakthrough. Not I hope to receive. Not I'm working toward my breakthrough. But I receive my full breakthrough. Write it from the point of view of someone who has already gone through it. Write it as if you were that person whose fame has opened all the doors. Heaven keeps track of those words when you type them. Your breakthrough is no longer on the horizon. It is now coming. The last part of this revelation is now over, and Archangel Michael puts out his hand to you. But not as a leader, but as a witness. Your act of acknowledgement is done. Your breakthrough has been made. Walk like the person who has it. Your journey doesn't end here. In this moment, you start to truly unfold. If your spirit feels this activation, type, I walk in my breakthrough in the comments. The blessing code 7770 is now coming your way. Now, if this message moved you, or if you felt Archangel Michael's presence through these words, don't let this moment pass without fulfilling your engagement. Share, comment on, like, and subscribe to your breakthrough statement. Let your commitment be your spiritual mark on everything that heaven has given you today. The alarm has gone off. You have been turned on. Now walk like the person who has a breakthrough. Now to really get this message home, please like this video. Leave a comment with your confirmation. Share it so other people can wake up and subscribe, so you never miss the prophetic releases that are meant to help you. As we seal this last revelation, let me say something very clearly that your spirit needs to hear. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-fi community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You didn't find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He's extending his hand and inviting you into a protected, high-vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life. If you follow it, you won't just receive blessings, they will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate, early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. If you desire to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to amplify this work, a link to purchase the guided ebook is available, which is completely optional, but your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.